What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the show. I'm excited to have you back on the show. I'm excited that you're here. And by the way, if you're just noticing, look at that. Look at the bottom right. I'm so excited. Carbon Health, everybody. Carbon Health. You remember Carbon Health from the Schmodown Spectacular? Well, they're presenting the show now, everybody. They are presenting the show, and I'm excited for that. Carbon Health, if you didn't know about Carbon Health, man, they have 110 locations nationwide. They have 80 locations in California, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Sacramento, North San Diego. It's amazing. So, if you didn't know, they have so many different things. They have urgent care needs at all locations, advanced care for most urgent care facilities. It's pretty great. We've had them, and for primary care in California, you can start a relationship with a professional that you can trust to take care of yourself before major issues arise, and think things like screenings we should start having performed when we approach our 40s especially. And look, COVID's still a thing. But over 2 million people are tested, can administer antivirals if qualified. You can buy it at home. Antigen tests while you're in the clinics, all of it. So make sure you check it out. And what they believe is that everyone deserves a healthcare provider who is an active partner supporting you in your efforts to feel better and live healthier. And their care teams have the support and resources they need to be able to focus in and build a relationship with you all. And I'm so excited to have them, man. I'm excited that they're going to be presenting the shows for a little bit here, and we're excited to have them back. And if you're brand new to the show, please subscribe to the show. Get us to 70,000 by the end of the year. We're going to try to take this sucker on the road, man. Big thing. Sith Council, stand-up comedy. We're doing it all. So we're hoping you can do that with us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere podcasts are found. Make sure you check it out. We're excited today because not only I wanted to talk to you guys and figure out Kate Mulligan's on the show, obviously, today. We were going to talk to her about, it's just Kate. We're going to talk to her.
Throwaway.
Whatever.
Okay.
They know you. We're going to talk about Amazon and Lord of the Rings. But what I want to know about Lord of the Rings is this. With the money that they spent, and people are talking about it, what does that show need to be a hit? Is it a bust? Is it a hit? What the hell is it? And not only do we have Kate here, I got my buddy Andrew Freed here. Andrew Freed. He is a mega producer. He's got a new series out, Welcome to Wrexham, and it is on Hulu. We're going to talk about that, but there's so much other stuff, whether you saw Chef's Table or the Val doc. It's Kate's going to geek out about all of it anyway, so we'll get into it, but Andrew's a very close friend, and I want to hear about all the stuff that he's working on, and it's going to blow your minds, especially for people out there who are always asking to get into the industry and producing and all that. Hopefully it's pretty fascinating. I think it will be. I like our chalk talks. So here it is, everybody. It's the big thing. Let's do it. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Monday show. It's me, Kristian Harloff. It's you. Next to me, Kate Mulligan.
Mulligan.
How are you? But enough about you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Andrew Freed. What's up, Andrew?
Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here.
I'm just sort of getting my bearings here because I've seen this on
the web
screen and on our Zooms.
That's right.
But I like being here in person. It's awesome.
And you caught
it.
See
you, Kate. Hi.
Nice to see you. Did you think Chucky was going to be as terrifying as he is?
No, I actually really am scared of that stuff. I didn't realize.
You just pointed it out.
I didn't realize how much Brett Sheridan.
Oh yes.
Would be here, which I love. The Kristian headshot there in the back with the Yankees jersey.
Yeah.
I knew you when that was your current headshot.
Well, you knew that person.
I was gonna say that's the guy we all knew.
You knew the little older version of that person.
I knew the beanie. I guess I knew the beanie Kristian.
I did not. I was not here during beanie Kristian phase.
No,
I was back in New York.
That's 2006, 2007.
Kristian beanie phase. I was not. I was
not part of
that.
Not a part of it. Well, there was a lot of stuff that Andrew was a part of, and we're going to talk about that. And people are going to wonder about. First of all, Andrew and I had
I love the way I sound.
You like it? Sounds good, right?
Yeah, it's really nice. Should I be leaning it? Do I want to?
You can do as long as you
the lily like that.
Listen, as long as you can hear yourself.
I just love the way it sounds.
I like the way it sounds. So listen to you. You sound sexy. I like that. It's like we come from that the Howard Stern background. We loved Howard Stern. Totally. So when you can just hear Howard when he would do this thing and he would talk sometimes and he would get, all right, listen to me. And you hear that, and you're like, "Oh my God, I can do that!"
And he was always slowing things. He still does, but he
was very fast when he started.
But he's always slowing things down. Wait, slow down.
Wait. Listen to me. Wait a minute. I want you to go back, and I want you to tell me What is it about that? Why did you start doing producing?
Yeah.
When you clearly were on Spin City.
Oh, yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
Did you know he was on Spin City?
Oh my God, no!
I was on
by the way, I would just like to say I sound good in the microphone too.
Well, you look like you have Winston's penis in your mouth.
Well,
go
you
over
know
there.
what? Don't talk about him like that.
Sorry.
He's much bigger than this.
All right. So look, the first thing I want to do before we talk, because we're going to talk about you a lot.
Okay, great.
I know.
Yes.
That's why you're here. What I did want to ask you, I was talking to Kate about this because The Lord of the Rings is this Amazon series that it cost $50 million an episode to make.
Yeah.
That is the highest budget of a streaming show with the way streaming works now. $50 million. I'm so curious as a producer, how in the world can you wind up, because it can't just be subscribers, right? How do you make that back? How do you classify that as a hit?
I wish that I knew, but it's I spend as much time thinking about it and talking about it as you do, right? Like I don't know what makes a hit for these subscribers or for these streamers, right? Like on some level, obviously, if it's zeitgeisty, if people are talking about it, if there's buzz, if it is the thing that people are talking about, not only for a week, but maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks, like there has to be some value in that. We, my company's Boardwalk Pictures, we primarily do unscripted TV shows, films, what have you. We always think of it this way, which is, look, an eyeball engagement isn't, if you watch something for 2 hours, you watch something for 2 hours. It can either be something like The Lord of the Rings or a $100 million movie on Netflix or whatever else, or it could be something that we make, which is pennies on the dollar compared to that. So as our titles start to become more zeitgeisty, more just sort of known, documentaries in many ways has sort of gone mainstream, I would think.
Absolutely.
In the last several years. Yep. And so when you look just at some of the titles that we've made, like Chef's Table, like Cheer, like Last Chance U, where it's, those hopefully they're getting the views that our partners need for those to be successes for them, whatever the sort of algorithm and the data says. Right. But what I feel confident in is that the value of what they're getting for, name recognition, relevant conversations that we're starting, entertainment that is in the mainstream for so much less than our scripted counterparts, that feels like value.
Of course. And for you guys, I mean, that from what you just did, the way you break that down, that's why it's so fascinating to me when you get something like Lord of the Rings. When you looked at, I don't know if either one of you guys got a chance to watch either one of the episodes.
We both saw it and we both hated it. Loved it. It was,
I'll say this. Yeah. Lord of the Rings, yes. I'm also thinking of the football that's happening on Amazon as well, right? Like, those are the two things that are happening on when I pop up Amazon now, it's telling me about those things.
But football makes a lot of sense to spend that kind of money because you figure you're going to get people in there to tune in. I'm just saying, like, when you look at the production quality of Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah. It's the one, like, because TV, because of traditionally, you pull back a little bit on the budget and it looks like TV, right? And you're like, okay, there's sometimes this does not look like TV. When I looked at this, I mean, this, regardless of what you think of the story.
They're content catalogs, right? So these things last forever. Yeah. Obviously, you need to get some of the value from it, I presume. Again, I'm a content creator. I don't work at the streamers or the networks, so you'd have to ask them. And I would think that it's a little different than it was when we were younger, where the thing's on Thursday, and if you missed it,
that was it.
Maybe you catch it in summer reruns. These shows last forever. Right. And so Amazon's investment in something like Lord of the Rings, I don't know that it's just an opening weekend, number. I think that it's
word of mouth, people coming back and all that.
It's forever.
Just $50 million an episode is a lot for TV.
You don't have to tell me. I don't. $50 million seems like a lot.
It's a lot. So, but either way,
but the world is changing, right?
It is.
We're going to be watching football on Amazon. We're going to be watching these big things. Are they TV shows? Are they movies? I don't know, but the world is obviously rapidly evolving from a content standpoint and a storytelling standpoint.
I'm very curious about it because, like I said, when I was looking at it, it's very theatrical. It looks beautiful, and I didn't love the first episode, but I certainly was more invested in the second. And people, as Andrew said, people are talking about the show. So I wonder exactly how they view their metrics. Netflix is famous for not letting their numbers be known. I don't know if Amazon does that. I know that I've heard that whether this is kind of a make or break thing for them, they're going to look at their numbers, decide if they want to put this kind of production in there. I don't know. I mean, you look at like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon after seeing what they did and that kind of massive number that they had. So who knows? Maybe they could.
Did you see though? So this is where the numbers can't tell the story, right? I'm sure you've all seen because you're online far more than I am. But the New York City apartment building that had all the TVs watching House of Dragons at the same time.
Dun, dun,
So that's a thing when it is actually just in a time where nobody watches anything by appointment anymore, that the entire or a big chunk of the world was watching that show when it was released at that moment. Like that's another kind of value. I don't know how you compare those things, but
well, there you go. Yeah. Well, so what I do want to talk to you about is something that people are definitely watching and talking about. And I feel like every single time I mention one of your shows, you can say that. Welcome to Wrexham. Now, this is something you told me about a while ago that you were working on, and now, like, and that's the beauty of again, Andrew and I have been friends for over 22 years now, and I have had a chance to hear about a lot of this. We have a lot of chances exciting to hear some of the things that he's been working on. And remember when you told me about the Val doc?
Yeah.
And I was able to watch that earlier, and I couldn't say anything. And I was like, I wasn't, and I had seen it, and I was like, I fell in love with it.
You don't miss, Andrew. You just don't.
Do you know what I've been calling you right now? And I know that you'll be humble on the air about it, and maybe you won't because I just said that. I've been calling you Midas lately.
Midas.
I've been calling you Midas lately.
I was literally, you did not tell me that about, but I think that too. When you look at the catalog of what your name has been hitched to.
I'm going to read some of the stuff.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah, read my credits.
I'm going to read your credits because, as I read your credits, though, I'm also going to tell the story about how we were sitting in a Beverly Hills restaurant, right? I think
not that long ago.
It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
It was longer than that. But,
was it? Okay.
But it was not like ages ago.
No. And I still have not gone through all your credits here.
It's
but if you look, so when
they see that, they see what you're.
No, they can't see this yet.
Okay.
But
right.
I can make them see that. But right
no,
now,
you don't have to make them.
Chef's Table.
Yeah.
Chef's Table is kind of was.
Full stop. Just right there. Chef's Table.
It's the one that built, but it's the one that really built out Boardwalk. I know you did other stuff obviously before that. No.
Yes, but here's the point that I want to make because it is true and it's not like maybe it sounds humble, but it is accurate, which is if I have a golden touch, if I am Midas in any way, which that's good. You know, that's like what happens right in the movie before like everything goes to shit.
Okay.
So I just
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
You just like gave me.
Sorry about that.
You're Midas.
You got a shit
and it's
touch.
like I'm supposed to do blow off a hooker in there. I don't know what's supposed to happen, but
we had one lined up. I don't know if sorry.
But I like when I met Kristian 22 years ago, whenever it was, I am attracted to people who I think like just have something and I can help. And so Chef's Table is, I met David Gelb, I met Brian McGinn. David had made Jiro Dreams of Sushi. And I was just like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And so I'm happy for you to go through all of those credits, though I don't think that's the best use of our time. But because each one of them is like somebody awesome along the way who ignited me to just want to support them. Very few of those things are, and there are some, but very few of those credits are things that I sat in a room, dreamed up, and then made by myself. I mean, none of it's made by myself, but like even was like the lead creative on. Most of them are like this awesome situation and these awesome people, and I was able to support that.
Well, that's still. I was gonna say that still speaks to you because I feel like people that collect great people that then create great products. I mean, for me, I loved Cheer. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah,
I think that the game changer, the game changer of all game changers for me is that Last Chance U, the basketball season. That will, I think, live on as an actual timepiece from COVID.
Right.
I think that for generations to come, if anybody wants to see, I mean, that's just luck that you happen to be shooting a season that ends the way that did. But that to me it's that is timeless. That I get chills even talking about it, because I don't know if you saw that, but like just the way, and then to have just lived through it and to watch it, that is going to be something I show my grandkids. I'm going to say, like, if you want to know what it was, if you want to capture the feeling of it, not to mention, welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah.
Same sort of situation here going on.
That's what I wanted to talk about too, because like as you mentioned, because
Thank you for saying all those things.
It's all true.
Well, I brought up Val because the reason why when you told me how that story came to be, and as you just said though, like it's being in the room. You're very good with people in the room, yeah, and in general you always have been, even when you were acting. Like just no, seriously. Like, and I remember first meeting you all those years ago, and just like, oh, this guy just controls a room, but not in like an aggressive way, but in a way that you want to hear what he's saying. So I can see how that transfers over to production. Tell me about Wrexham, though. How did that come to be? Because the stuff going on, you get chills. It's like, I feel like there was a room, like, it's like real life Ted Lasso with famous actors.
It was before Ted Lasso.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
But it didn't get released until after. So
Right.
I actually wanted to ask you about that. Did you feel like Ted Lasso being the hit it was, sort of sneaking in before you guys even released, did it help or hurt?
So I don't watch a ton of TV. I watch, cuts of our shows,
Yeah.
right? So, and I watch some things, and the things that I watch, I love. I love Ted Lasso, like love it. Like it is one of maybe 4 shows that I've watched in the last year. And when it comes out next, it will be like immediate.
It's like it was West Wing for you, the way you were for West Wing?
Yeah, but even another step, which is with Ted Lasso last season, I saved them. I knew that they had come out, and I knew that I couldn't just deal with 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And so I waited till halfway through the season at least to start watching them. But like that's how much goes into it. Like I love it.
Yeah.
You mentioned Last Chance U. I want to talk about all the things, which is Last Chance U basketball for me, again, on the periphery. I'm not sitting on the bus with the basketball team as they're learning that their season is canceled. But COVID was this thing that we were all living through. Greg Whiteley was, directing 2 shows at that time, one being Last Chance U basketball and one being Cheer. And both of them just sort of came to this crazy inflection point that then for the whole year in the editing, it was like, oh, is anybody really going to want to watch a thing about COVID? And so there was just a lot of debates that go into all of that. And ultimately, I think you're right. I agree with you, because as I watch it, it's like, wow, this is a real moment in time that the further we have, the more distance we have from it, the more it will act as sort of this marker, this time capsule of like what it was like, because we'll forget it, right? It's not like the Kennedy assassination. It's not like 9/11. It's those are moments, and we remember exactly where we were in that precise moment. The fog of those 2 years will sort of just.
It's true.
It'll just all.
It already does blend.
I already sort of forget it.
It does. Like it does. Like I was even thinking about like when it all. I could place 3 years ago as if it was yesterday. And like it feels like it was yesterday, as opposed to like when you remember those other events. Sure, you remember them, but it feels like so long ago. Some of them, and some of them
are, but it's so precise. Like where were you when the Challenger happened? Like I can tell you exactly where I was.
Right.
But
and why was it your school library watching it?
Everybody was
right.
Yeah, it was in school.
So,
exactly.
But this is just sort of this foggy malaise, and yet. It's interesting to be reminded in a story like Last Chance U basketball, spoiler alerts, COVID happens. Yeah. But like, I remember when being told the story secondhand, but that they were on the bus getting ready to go. They were dealing with the fact that it was an empty gym. And then it was just like, we're not going.
Because that's also not how documentaries usually end. There usually is like some sort of hope. There's usually some, and this was like, no wait, but we wanted to see them.
And that's the way the world is, right?
That's
what happened.
Exactly,
So to your question, COVID was this weird time, and many actors, TV stars, movie stars were sort of doing things outside of their normal schedule. I had a Zoom scheduled with Rob McElhaney.
Did you know him beforehand or no? Just set up?
No, just the way you know him from watching It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
So it was set up, And he said, I've been watching all these, documentary TV shows, and you seem to be the guy that makes all of them.
Midas. His name is Midas. Yep, that's correct.
He didn't say that, but
well, he meant to.
It was obvious that he meant to. And he said, I think I'm going to buy a soccer team. And do you think like we can make a documentary about that?
Do you automatically go yes?
Well,
in your head.
Yeah,
in
because
your
I'm a business owner,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I recognize the opportunity, but it was Rob, and Rob is a very, very famous, successful, awesome, hilarious, talented guy.
Yeah.
But then, and I remember the next conversation because I was like in the supermarket, grocery shopping for the kids and me, and like hazmat suit, gloves, mask. Like it was that era.
Yeah, back then.
And I got a call from Rob, and I like put an earpiece in under my hazmat suit, and he said, I was talking to my friend Ryan Reynolds about maybe sponsoring this thing, and we thought maybe we should just do it together.
You're like, no, Ryan Reynolds, never heard of him. No,
and
thanks.
so I remember what I said to him, which was, our charming little documentary about a little football club, which we didn't know what it was going to be, but our charming little documentary about a little football club has just gotten a whole lot less charming, but it's big. That's a massive massive idea.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That's it.
That's
So
it.
can you, but that's kind of old school too, right? Like how it used to work even with movies. Like you have an idea, but once you get big name talent involved, it certainly moves the needle. But you have to have the idea, you have to have everything too, but that moves the needle even more so, doesn't it?
I mean, let's be honest about it, right? Like a movie star on TV,
Right.
being himself in intimate, vulnerable setting, caring about what the hell they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, that whatever that is. Like,
Well, also
give me an environment where somebody who I want to watch cares about what they're doing, and I'm sort of cool.
Well, it is also a peek behind the curtain to show more so than just the movie star, as you said, to show him as both of them, who they are, the fact that Rob is this big sports fan and what it meant to him, and the fact that, they have this relationship where you're like, oh, these are human beings who just really enjoy this, and they have and they're trying to help this town, and Reynolds even says that it's an underdog story, and all of that. I think that's what makes it pretty special, and the fact that they're both really likable dudes.
And what you'll see as the story continues, Wednesday nights on FX. And
I mean, I got to tell you, I really should not have been watching because I'm like, I need the next one now. I need it now.
So that's the thing, is that like you will really start to know this team, this town, and their owners.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that like you're not going to get enough of Rob and Ryan. Rob and Ryan haven't even been to Wales yet in the show.
Right.
Right? So like there is a whole lot of Rob and Ryan to come, and a whole lot of just like all the goodness to come. But it's amazing to me, like everything about that series that is the things that make me cry are not what I would have thought would have made me cry.
I have to say that to me, I find myself so deeply invested in that town, in those people. The dad that has gone through a divorce, and it's just, and sometimes it's the Welsh accent maybe that I'm like, why are they just so much better than us? But he's just like, that's life, isn't it? Like it, and he's like heartbroken. You can just see the man's life has come to a full stop, and he's just like, so I got these for my boys. Like I gotta go do this. Like, and it's just, he's just one of the fans. And so those moments where like Ryan and Rob aren't in it, I don't feel like, oh, come on, get back. Those are the moments I end up loving.
Absolutely. And when I like
it's for them, it's for Sean
those,
Winter. And when he says every day, Magnolia. Right, that's like the color, the
pink color. Yes,
like I know him, and
yes.
and Rob makes the point in the series, like he knows them because it is Philadelphia. It is. Josh McCouga texted me 100%. And said, "This is Pittsburgh."
Yeah,
you know, like
it looks like
the more universal the more universal it is, the more specific it is.
That's what I was going to say, though, is the fact that like by bringing in the two American actors, although Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, but still you bring them in. You talk about these sports fans, these towns, but even though football, even though it's one of the biggest sports in the world, if not the biggest, America it's not, but it doesn't matter because of what you're doing. You're projecting that, and I think Ted Lasso does help, to be completely honest with you too.
It does.
So that, again, a very good break for you, even though it's a similar thing. It's so different.
We knew that Ted Lasso was existing through most of this, but at the initial inception, we didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, no, and these things sort of happen. It's weird that the world unfolds. It's not some master strategy all the time, but the world does unfold such that, like, thematically, everyone's talking about something right now. And right now,
I love that they're talking about this, because
football is hot.
But it's also, this show is something that people need, I think, too, because it's also, there's a lot of things on TV that are not uplifting, and they're not, and there's certainly things that kind of break your heart in the show, but there's things that I think that give you that nice feeling that you need sometimes. So but the other thing you need sometimes in my life, that I need all the time, is pizza. And Chef's Table pizza.
That's why he's the pro. That's why I'm behind the camera.
Oh, look at that transition.
Chef's
He's in front of it.
When you told me about Chef's
Table. That is a seamless.
Now, I was happy and mad at the same time.
transition.
I was happy and mad at the same time about Chef's Table pizza. Do you want to guess why I was happy?
Because it's pizza and you love pizza.
And do you want to know why I was upset?
Because there's no pizza from New York.
No, because you did not invite me to the set. That is why. What a smart idea that was, to do this for the people.
They didn't have you in the budget. That's for sure.
I was sent.
You're gonna eat.
But this wasn't from you. I was from Netflix. I was sent the episodes. Is it out yet?
September 7th.
September 7th,
I think.
So we're about okay. So we're right around. So tell me about that one. So this is just an extension now of Chef's Table, and now doing
these
pizza.
are 6 more Chef's Table episodes, all about pizza. With Chef's Table, we've sort of opened the aperture a little bit, in that we did the pastry season a few years ago, which was all desserts, and then we did barbecue. I think it's now like 2 years ago. Which was all barbecue. That was like a little different for us. And so pizza seemed like the next logical. The other thing I will say is that, like, pizza comes up. Like, I directed the episode with Nancy Silverton.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Did you direct anything with Wrexham, by the way? Did you direct anything?
No. John Henyon is the lead executive producer, showrunner. John Henyon doesn't even get his haircuts in the U.S. anymore, because his barber is in Wales, because that is where he has been for the last 2 years.
Okay, sorry. So you were saying you directed for...
When I directed the Nancy Silverton episode of Chef's Table, she talked about Chris Bianco's pizza. Like, I was like, you'd done bread, you had done this. Like, what got you into pizza? She said that, I'd had all this great pizza in Italy, but I didn't know what pizza I would want to make here. And then I tasted Chris Bianco's pizza, and that's what I wanted to do. So Chris Bianco, who's in Phoenix, and now I guess has a restaurant in LA as well. But these 6 episodes of Chef's Table, they're getting better.
Yeah.
Like, we've now done, this represents episodes up to 54. This is the 54th episode of Chef's Table. And the people who are making them now, Danny O'Malley is one of our directors this season. Danny came up the ranks of Chef's Table. Danny was, I don't remember what his first job was, but eventually he was a story producer, and then a producer, and then, and now he's directing an episode. And, like, the Chef's Table is as much his voice as any of ours. And so as those voices start to come up and have new opportunities, the shows are getting better.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Kate.
I was going to say, I feel like that is sort of a byproduct of you being Midas, and I'm not being silly here. First of all, really good use of the word aperture. Not really recovered from that yet, if I'm being honest. But also, I just feel like that's the whole premise behind Google, right? Like, if we have the best things to offer, then we will attract the best employees. We're going to make lunches free. We're going to make 20% of your time your personal time. And I got to believe when your roster, I call it a roster because I'm thinking of soccer now, but, like, it is what it is, which is Chef's Table and cheer. And, like, there's nobody listening to this who has not seen one of your doc. I guarantee you.
They also did the Cosby doc, which is not an easy watch, but it's
not an easy watch, but we need to talk about Cosby. But so to me, I feel like what happens is you then become a person that Rob McElhenney is calling and saying, so I just feel like you're saying the Chef's Table keeps getting better. Yeah, because, like,
the rep. It's the rep. It's the reputation that comes with it.
And so you're just going to attract better and better. You're just going to get you are the cream of the crop. So now you're getting the cream of the crop.
Well, let me ask you though, when it comes to that though with Netflix, right? Because it is the business that we're in is what have you done for me lately, and you keep doing things for them lately. So that you've got to be like the golden child over there, right? I'm sure you are.
I imagine they're pretty happy.
Right, and
with a lot of our work.
So you don't have an exclusive deal though with Netflix.
No,
you
and in fact,
obviously with Hulu.
We need to talk about Cosby.
Yes.
Yes.
Is with Showtime.
Right.
We do we're Welcome to Wrexham is
Hulu.
with FX and Hulu.
Right.
And so we work with everybody. We've made a lot with Netflix through the years. Chef's Table was Netflix's first unscripted original.
Yeah.
And so
Wild.
when you talk early days of Netflix, like, there was an office over on Maple in Beverly Hills and like a little reception area.
Yeah.
And
I used to work at Lake Show over there.
Yeah.
Yes. On 3rd and Maple.
So we were in the conference room behind reception when we did that first Chef's Table meeting. And the interesting thing is that we have different partners over there, right? Like it's not that we make every show for the same set of people. There's so many. Netflix in my mind is not one of like a competitor of the networks. It's all the networks. There's a Comedy Central in Netflix. They don't call it that, but there is that sort
Netflix
of.
is a joke.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different people who we work with over there.
Well, let me ask you then for this, because when it comes down to, because obviously Netflix was the king of the crop, or the king of the hill, excuse me, when it came to streaming, before the streaming wars kind of really happened, before Disney got into the game, and then HBO Max, and then all these things, right? So in the beginning of the year, there's a big story about Netflix where they lose all the subscribers, but then they're in trouble at one point. But I would assume that the stuff that is really working for them is stuff that the kind of stuff that you do, right? So like it's a lot of the scripted stuff, I feel, is harder to find on Netflix. It's not the comedy specials. It's not this type of shows. Those are the shows I think are easy to find on Netflix. And so that's probably obviously beneficial to your business. But did that Netflix stuff, I don't think the answer is yes, but does it affect you at all when all that stuff is going down?
All of it affects creative people everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? It just does. CNN Plus, I didn't have a show. We had a show sort of in development over there, but I didn't have a series at CNN Plus. But CNN Plus going away is like a huge hit to the community and a bunch of people who we're going to tell stories over there. We have a show coming out on HBO Max called The Big Brunch that we're doing with Dan Levy that comes out this fall. Change over there and
big change.
What's going on with HBO Max and candidly, most of, if not all of the people who we dealt with on that show are not there anymore. And so it's just like, does
that continue on?
The show?
Yeah.
I hope that you make a hit show, that there's room to do more of it.
Sure.
I got a big expensive set that we built that's in storage that's just waiting to be taken out and shoot a second season.
Do you deal with Zasloff at all?
I don't know him.
Okay.
I'm not that. I may be Midas.
No, but
I'm not that big. I deal with the people I make shows.
Yeah,
with.
but I was curious about how that works in general, like because
but I've never had shows there.
Right.
Like I have a really nice relationship with Ted Sarandos. I mean, we're not like hanging out all the time, but like he is someone who I've been making shows for a long time.
Here today?
Yeah. Exactly. But I don't know David Zaslav because I haven't made shows at Discovery.
Right. All right. So because I know we're going to lose you in a second. So what? Obviously, we know that the show's on Hulu, and that comes out usually Wednesday nights.
FX on
Wednesdays.
And then Hulu on Thursday.
Hulu like the next day.
Okay, so then we have the Dan Levy show. What else can we and the pizza show for Chef's
Table Pizza. Let's not call it the pizza show.
Well, we just said the pizza show.
I'm just saying.
We just said the pizza show. It's a pizza show. It's a good pizza show. It's a delicious pizza show.
It is.
What if all those subscribers come back?
Hold on. Chef's Table Pizza.
Chef's Table Pizza. Street food. Street Food just came out on Netflix. Street Food USA.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And look, and he also did. So the thing that I was, and before, what I got you for another 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I got to talk about
the Big Brunch. Did we talk about the Big Brunch on HBO?
Yeah, we just did. You just did.
You said, but I want to know what that's about because you said
the Big Brunch.
Yeah, Dan Levy.
That's the first time that but this was another thing. I think Dan Levy during COVID.
Yeah.
There was a lot of energy of like people looking in different creative directions during COVID. Right. So that was true for those types of people too.
I was just drinking. Sorry.
Dan Levy wanted to do a food competition show, and he had a very clear idea about a lot of it. And we had never done anything like that. Like, we've never 10 chefs and 3 judges and a big prize at the end. That's very much outside of our comfort zone. But Dan's amazing. I don't know if you have. Yeah, he's great, and a creative force. And so we just decided to do it our way, and I'm really excited about it.
And then you said that comes out in spring. Is it
in the fall?
In the fall,
November. Sometime around Thanksgiving.
Okay, so
great.
Yeah. All right, so
Big Brunch.
The Big Brunch, and so you have all those coming out, and then the thing though, as I mentioned beforehand, if we can, we talked. So can we go over that story of what happened, because it was before Tyson, right?
What story?
When we sat at the restaurant.
Yeah,
together.
As you remember it, you tell me what.
You tell me, and I said I thought it was right after you had done. I thought was it after?
I think it was before Tyson.
It was before Tyson.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So it was like right, whatever you had just finished.
I was. I often say that I was fired, but maybe it was that I had come to the end of a contract. The show was not done, and I was not extended along with the show. Maybe that's the more accurate description.
And at the time, at the time, you looked at it as a defeat. At the time. Right?
Yeah, I was fired from a Bravo show.
At the time.
I had been a showrunner on a Bravo show.
It turns out to be the best thing that ever happened to you. But
it happened.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, so I don't know if it was the best thing, but it is certainly part of the journey of getting here.
A lot of people have jobs that would say it was a good thing that happened to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So,
but I had gone to Dallas to be the showrunner on a Bravo show called Courtney Loves Dallas, which was not about Courtney Love, but it was about Courtney Kerr, and she loved Dallas.
She loves Dallas,
and she's great.
Yeah.
And she's still great, and that show could have been great.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I think the show was fine, but I wanted to make this version of this show. This was about Courtney Kerr had been on a Bravo reality show. Most Eligible Dallas, and now she was getting her spinoff, and she was quitting her job in retail and really going on her own as a fashion blogger, which at the time was like, what even is that? Nobody even knew what she was talking about, that she was going to be like a full-time influencer. And we captured it really as it happened. There was one scene I remember where her Wi-Fi went down. So this is a story about a woman who has quit her job. She's taking all the risks, and she's sitting at home, and her Wi-Fi has gone down. And that seemed like the most interesting thing to me. That, like, for as fabulous as her life was, if the fucking Wi-Fi doesn't work, like, that's pressure. That's stakes.
No shit.
That's like everything to me. And so we cut this like long sequence of her talking to nobody, just frustrated that the Wi-Fi wouldn't work, and it was so interesting to me. And
they didn't want it.
Everybody else who saw it was like, "You're crazy." And so I really tried to hold on to something that was that. They wanted something that was not that.
Yeah.
They excused me of my duties, and you and I went to lunch at South Beverly Grill.
Yeah, we did. We sat
and
down.
I said, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
I remember you like, I don't think it's gonna happen. And I go, we've had this. So Andrew and I met through friends, and then we did stand-up comedy together. And Andrew was an actor, and Andrew helped me. I talked to him many times on WWE. I got the job. Andrew was very instrumental in helping me with writing the letter that I did, and we worked together and all that stuff. And we've just been really close friends, so we know each other really well when we get into those places. And then Andrew moved back to New York for a little bit, went working for his grandfather.
Quite a tale.
But he comes back, and then I remember that you've been like, and we were sitting at that place, and the food was really good. I remember that. But and you saying it's over, and I looked at you and I go, stop.
You were very dismissive.
Very dismissive
of my moment.
Very, and I was just I go stop. I go, look, you're fucking Andrew Freed. I go, you're gonna wind up just finding the next thing, and you're gonna be fine. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen. I go, yeah, I can't wait to hear when it. And how much longer after that conversation did you get a gig?
Soon. But you're right. And I'm emotional as I'm thinking about it, because that really, really did happen.
Yeah.
Like, I was done.
Yeah.
I was done.
Well, and
it was real.
Yeah.
I had no money. I had no job. And I had just really stuck to my guns creatively, thinking like, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down on my own terms.
You sure did.
But I did. And it was like, okay, on the other side of that, because I recognize that in the storytelling that we do, whether it's on Chef's Table, whether it's on Last Chance U, a lot of the different things that we do, we've reinforced this narrative of like, everybody thought I was crazy, but I went for it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's true. Every chef that we've profiled on Chef's Table could absolutely tell that story. It's the story of, finding one's creative voice, right? Yep. So it's true. I also sort of feel this responsibility to say that it doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
Like we're celebrating the ones that did, but and my story is one that it did work out. And I'm saying that it was real in that moment.
Yeah, it was.
I had no money, I had no job, and I had a new wife.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out what the hell to do next. And again, though it was a very real moment for me, you were just sort of like, yeah, you're going to be fine.
Because
so
the
sweet.
thing that I've, look, I'm going on this, people know they're watching the channel. I had a cushy job for the last 3 years with Skybound. I'm going out on my own, doing my thing, but I built out as much of a name as I could in this space, doing my thing, taking that leap. But it's also what I've done very well is I know people. And I know things, and I know like what people are capable of. And I've always been, since the day we met, I've been in awe of you sometimes when you lock in and then you know. And as much as we're saying, like, I know you well enough that we're calling you minus, well, I deserve a little bit of that because I fucking did, because I kicked my fucking own ass to make it happen. And I did what I had to do. And I look, I mean, you can't read that slate off and say it, but you can also, I've been there, dude. And I was there 3 months ago when I was walking around going, what the fuck am I going to do? And just bummed and like in this space. But you do find that road. And that's why I wanted you on the show as well today, because I want people to hear that story, knowing that it's not just, oh, well, this is just a guy who he just had it all handed to him. Fuck no, you had to fight and you had to make it work. And you were in a spot where you had to make it work.
Well, thank you. And I also had to be responsive to what was going on around me, right? Which is stubborn at times, creatively stubborn, certainly, but actually pretty flexible in terms of what sparks excitement, different people who come into my life that it's like, oh, that really has inspired me. And now I'm off in a whole other different direction.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does.
Again, I think that there's so much of this like, and I stuck with my guns, and I stuck with my guns, and I stuck with my guns. And there is a part of that is a part of my story and a lot of the stories that we end up telling.
Is that why you make stories like that as well? Because you can relate to it so much? Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I
Subconsciously.
once was sitting watching something with my mom early, like years ago, and I was like, I have no idea what draws me to any of these stories. Yeah. Like, I don't know how I choose them.
Yeah.
And she said, it's obvious. You were telling stories about people who are at the top of their game. And it was like, oh, I didn't even, and I don't know if that's still true, but I never realized that was like a common thread.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just this thing of you gotta bob and weave through it, and but that low moment is real, and a friend to tell you that it's gonna be okay is real, and then the work that is like, okay, where are my opportunities? Where do they present?
The Tyson thing comes. That's the one that kind of got you back. That because I don't feel like there was that dip after that. It seemed like you were off and running after that Tyson doc.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, when you look at the graph from far enough away,
there wasn't like that
straight line.
Because as we're talking about,
right?
Because we're talking about that conversation that we had at dinner at lunch. That was a down moment, and I'm sure there were, of course, and anybody has down moments, but not like that. Like that was from
a career standpoint,
right?
That was a real nadir.
Right. And now you move, you get Tyson. I don't know how many stories you. I mean, I hate that I got to lose you because I got to lose you now because you got.
I have 5 more minutes. We could do 5 more minutes. I know I need to get in the car.
Which makes sense. You tell me when you got to go, and we'll wrap it up. But
I don't see the clock. But
it's 11:05. You need to go.
5 more minutes.
All right, 5 more minutes.
You were right.
I told you. I said you got to lowball it. You got to lowball it. He's going to
unbelievable.
We're good at this.
All right.
We're good at this. So, but the Tyson stuff, there's so many. I could talk to you about Mike Tyson for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think he's a fascinating human being.
Yes.
There's a particular story that you told me that I don't know if it's out there, so if you can't talk about it, something like, you know, like
no.
He got nervous.
How did you?
Don't say it.
I know you guys got along very well. Were there any moments that you were ever scared?
Yes.
Can you tell that moment? Or no?
I could tell it vaguely, which is that...
It's
I guess enough time has passed. And Mike Tyson is like... real good dude. I know that that's a weird thing to hear, but
you spent a lot of time with him.
I spent a lot of time with him, and he is somebody that, like, when I went through my divorce, I reached out to him.
Oh, that's
Really?
great.
And he sat with me for a couple of hours and just like said all the things that I don't have a big brother, but like, wow.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson is...
You don't get any more raw and honest than...
And he has lived a life, and he has seen a lot of things. And he's not proud of all of them.
You can trade me in for
I was going to say
Tyson.
he traded you out for Tyson for the next crisis.
No, he got plenty of that those talks too. But yeah. So anyway, the story was, when you're making these documentaries, you're on one level you are putting a lens on the world and hoping that it reveals its truest self. Right, that's the desire. You also do need to nudge people emotionally to places that they don't want to go on their own, right? Even in a Chef's Table episode, if I come back on an episode I'm directing, I'll say to the editor, okay, what is the story that she and I are telling together here? And then what's the story she doesn't realize she's telling? Right? There is a healthy tension that exists in nudging people to places that they don't, that as an interviewer. I had nudged Mike to a place that was a little bit uncomfortable for him, and he got in my face.
He nudged you back, didn't he?
But did you hear that? Mike Tyson got in his face.
Yeah,
like,
he
how many shits did you have in your pants?
Yeah.
He really did. Well, life happens so fast that like you don't.
Yeah.
It's just happening.
Yeah.
But I'm standing there, and Mike Tyson is standing in front of me. And I'm saying, I have pushed him, and I have placed him somewhere that he was uncomfortable being.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want from me? What do you want from me, Andrew? What do you want from me, Andrew? What do you want, right? What do you want from me, Andrew? And I would be like, well, what do you want to do, Mike? And he got right up in my face, and he goes, I want to say, fuck you, motherfucker. And like, I could feel his breath on my face.
Yeah.
And like,
no, of course not.
Like,
you'd shit in your
and
pants.
But it's all happened so quickly that like it is him.
Yes.
And that is happening, and it is his face, like out of
like,
a nightmare.
roll the cameras.
Like out of a nightmare.
But you got to hold your ground.
All like, I am not tactical like that.
Yeah.
I was just frozen.
Yeah.
Well, like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Right. Like I was just like, okay.
Of course you were.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That happened. Okay. He ended up ripping off his microphone, throwing it, and leaving in the car. Right. The next day, we were shooting, and he apologized to me in the morning, almost like in a very, very respectful way, saying, I understand what it must feel like for that to happen, And so I apologize. And he's the sweetest. I mean, we're friends. You and I don't know that we've ever gotten in each other's face like that, but that's what happens, right? There's intensity, emotional intensity, and so that's just part of it. Later that day, we were shooting on a rooftop in Brooklyn. We were with his pigeons in Brooklyn on a roof.
Classic.
On a roof in Brooklyn, okay? We have climbed up a ladder.
And you're thinking, thank God this wasn't yesterday.
Onto a roof in Brooklyn. And I'm standing on a roof.
No.
And he not runs, because he's not someone who runs, but he sort of gains some momentum and is coming towards me on a roof. And I remember like, whoa, like what is happening? And he just hugged me.
Oh.
Amazing.
And he apologized again on a roof.
Yeah. It's a great story, though. It's great. I hate that I got to lose you. But we'll do this again.
Invite me back.
You're invited.
That's why I make all the shows. That's why I'm as prolific as I am. Just
come
to
back
have
on this show.
reasons. No, I'm not on other podcasts.
Just
I come
on this one.
here.
Yeah, well, you do, and that's why. Well, yesterday it was funny because I didn't tell Andrew that we don't do the Zoom anymore. He said, "Well, what's the link?" And I go, "There's no link. You gotta get over here.
You gotta come."
And I would much rather do that because I think you get the real conversation,
Yeah.
you get the feel of it. So it's good to have you on here for sure. Thank you. And once again, tell people. I'll give you the camera here. Tell people everything what they need to do. Right?
Where do I look? Is this right?
Nope, wrong one. Look at the other one.
Is this right?
No, look up in the
Yep,
air.
that's it. You got it.
That's
You
right.
gotcha.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
So we got. You know what? I'll make it easier for you. Welcome to Wrexham, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check it out. And as Andrew said, it's Wednesday nights on FX and then Thursday on Hulu. Make sure you check that out. Chef's Table Pizza.
Show.
And make sure that you watch the
show.
watch the
Pizza show.
It's a pizza show to me. I can't wait to eat all that pizza. So make sure you check that out as well. He's got tons of stuff. Literally, go on his IMDb and look at all the stuff that he's done. You can go in the back catalog and check it out. Andrew Freed, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure, my friend, to have you, and we'll definitely have you on again.
I am so happy to be here.
Yes.
I've loved every second.
Thank
but
you.
really, it's so cool to be here
Thank
after
you.
all this time.
I know it's been a while, especially if.
But I mean, after all this time, like
No.
you and I really go back.
We do.
To the Yankees headshot. But it's real.
It is.
It's real.
It is. We were on and it was when we started the Schmoes No podcast when it was just Mark and I with really bad microphones and everything. Andrew was like one of our first guests, and he came in and sat down with us. So come back again, please. Now go make a lot of money. That's what you're going to do.
We've
right
come
now.
a long way since that.
We have.
First one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, Andrew Freed, and let me tell you guys about our next sponsor. All right, everybody. As the Bills and the Rams prepare to kick off the NFL regular season, now is the time to prepare for your winning season at MyBookie. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a veteran bettor or a first-timer. MyBookie gets you the most for your money with a double deposit bonus. It's pretty quick, and it's easy. $250 deposit puts $500 in your account. That alone, what a deal that is. And you can use your funds to bet instantly on as many games, contests, and props as you want. To claim your bonus, register today and use that promo code BIGTHING, designed to add more excitement to the games and sports that you love. Now, bet on team totals, predict the Super Bowl winner, or use the MyBookie prop builder and secure the bag. Your winning season begins today. Now, that's exclusively at MyBookie. Now, make sure you use that code. Use that code BIGTHING. Very happy to have MyBookie back. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, people have been asking this for a while now, and now that I am on my own, people are like, how do I support you? First of all, I want to thank every single person, and I didn't mention this at the beginning of the show. We put an Amazon gift list up on the channel, and we said, well, if some people donate, great, it's the way to do it. And the amount of support and the people, whether it was First Rate Nate, Thrawn, so many different people. I'm gonna read out everybody who sent in notes. We just haven't set anything up yet. We have all the notes and everything. So thank you. But if people are asking, like, how can we help? I can't join Patreon, or I can join Patreon, right? That's great. You put a like, you put a comment, awesome. Or you find a sponsor that's right for you. You're gonna put some bets down on the games. Use MyBookie and use our code and help yourself out. Go to MyBookie and use that code Big Thing. All right, Kate. How great is Andrew?
I love him.
He's great, isn't he?
I got to tell you, I spent 7.5 years working with producers at a big production company. And maybe it's just that he was just totally himself because he's around a friend from a long time ago. But there's something very genuine about him.
Yeah, he is. I think
like,
that's why he's as successful that he's.
But sometimes producers are successful without being genuine.
What I love about him, though, is that he can also, as nice as he is, he can also turn it on and use, like, similar to what we just said with Tyson, right?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, he can turn it on and just like, you don't fuck with that guy. And there's a reason why he's successful. He's as successful as he is, and that's why, like, but that's why I wanted him to tell that story when he and I were sitting down, because you look at what that guy has done, and you look at what he has accomplished in his life, and he was in that spot that maybe you are today, right? There's a way out of the spot. There's always a way out of the spot. It's just a matter of how you choose to get yourself out of that spot and realize, and I said this to my buddy once, comedian, and he was in the shits, and I said to him, I go, look, you can't really, he's going through the worst thing in his life at the time, and I go, you can't judge whether or not this is a bad moment or not. You can't. It feels bad, but you can't judge if it's a bad moment.
Smart,
well, but it's true, though. It's like you can look at, because you can't judge the past because you can't see the future.
Yeah.
And it's like the worst thing in the world. Like, and that's why it's so fucking heartbreaking and devastating when people take a way out when they're in the worst spot in their world because they think that's it.
They think that's
it. And it's like, it's not it. It's not it. There's a way out and there's a way to do it. It's just, it's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. It's easier said than done because you look at, and now this is a very different situation. I understand this when I'm going to bring this up, but I'm using it just so everybody can relate to it. You look at Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, granted, Robert Downey Jr. has a lot of friends, and Robert Downey Jr. had a lot of support and everything too, but he was in a spot that was just rock bottom.
Yep.
In jail, numerous times, losing jobs left and right, meets his wife, or now wife, Susan, and his life turns around. Nobody wanted to insure him for Iron Man. Had the backing of his friend Jon Favreau, had the backing of his wife, and I understand. Again, we're using the example of a famous celebrity. I understand that, but I'm just showing you that
it applies here too.
It applies
Absolutely.
to it applies to everyone.
Yeah.
And think about other people that had not, even some of the family. Look at Corey Haim.
Yeah.
Corey Haim never made it back.
Look at Anne Heche.
Never made it back.
Never
right?
made it back.
So it's just these. So all I'm saying is there, and it's certainly not the situation that Andrew was in when I was talking. But I'm just saying that everybody gets into moments when you think this is the worst moment of my life. There are ways out, and I can tell you, like recently, and I'll be frank about it too. I called you recently, and I probably was 4 months ago, and I was in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
And I got myself out of that spot, and it's just like, and I was gonna quit. I was gonna stop doing this. I wasn't gonna do it anymore. I was gonna everything. And you have to stay the course, and clearly that's what happened with Andrew.
It's funny because that conversation that you and I had, without giving any details, of course, but I felt like I got to do for you what you did for Andrew, which was I was sort of like, Kristian, you're gonna be fine. Like I just believed like you will like and you are. You're going to be fine. Like everybody, you're going to be fine.
And I appreciate that very much so. And that's what we've been friends for quite a while. And similar to what we just talked about, like with Andrew. So lean on your friends, lean on people, have conversations with them. And, I hope that Andrew is a story of hope for sure, because you look at what he's able to accomplish in his life and what he's able to do. So anyway, okay. So other things I wanted to talk about today. There was this, again, we talked about the Lord of the Rings thing. So have you been watching? What have you been watching besides,
I started watching House of Dragon. Welcome to Wrexham, and I'm not. So here's the thing. You know this about me. There are very few things you can say to me like, have you watched? And I'll be like, yes. When you tell me Andrew Freed, and I don't know, and you're like, well, this is so he did the Val documentary. I'm like, wait, what?
You love all this stuff.
I truly, it is all stuff I had watched.
Right.
I'm not kidding you. And we sort of ruined the surprise on Last Chance U basketball, but it is wild. You don't know. I didn't know when I was watching it, like what year they were filming it. And then when the thing happens, it is so, I was like devastated. I felt like I couldn't, I was like, wait, but how are we going to end this documentary? Wait, they got to go play. They got to go play. So so to me, when you're like, well, what are you watching? I'm like, well, I'm actually legitimately watching Welcome to Wrexham. It's, I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up the ass of your friend. Like,
well, that's why I had John.
Genuinely, yeah.
But that's why I had John, because I figured that you could talk about it in depth, because I knew you watch all that stuff, whether it's Cheer and Last Chance U, all this stuff. But you are watching House of the Dragon?
Yes.
And?
I got to say.
Yeah.
I don't even have a problem with the first episode.
I love the first episode.
I love the first episode. It feels like Game of Thrones from jump.
Oop.
Even dun, 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 like just being woven in, but like in different keys and stuff. I loved it.
Thought the second episode was incredible.
Yes.
Loved the first episode.
Yeah.
Thought it's just like 2 episodes in, it's like must-watch TV.
Yeah.
And I hate doing the thing where like comparing, because everyone's comparing Lord of the Rings and you just, I guess it's, there's fantasy shows, and it's one of those things where you just enjoy it all. But I am absolutely, House of the Dragon to me right now, out of the shows that are on TV, there's House of the Dragon. If you look at Marvel, House of the Dragon, or She-Hulk rather, and Lord of the Rings. Right now, if I was going to rank them, I'd put Game of Thrones. That's hard to rank. the other two. But I'd say Lord of the Rings because I'm a fantasy person.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I'll let you in on the joke also
Yeah.
because you'll laugh at me too because I know because you definitely keep up with this stuff. But I had the biggest dad moment for sure on the air because no clue who Meg the Stallion was. I had no idea. No clue. And
I was like, I don't know that I will. No, okay, Meg the Stallion.
I had no
Absolutely.
idea. Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah,
Everybody. Is it the Stallion? Yeah, I didn't know. I thought she was great in the show. Have you watched the show yet?
No,
you haven't watched it yet.
No.
I think you get a kick out of it.
I think I would too. I love the bus ads. There's bus ads running all over LA where they're like, superheroes need a super lawyer, and it looks just like an ad like for a lawyer, but it's all in green and it's her.
It's funny because
it's great.
There's a lot of there's discourse with everything, no matter what. I think there's not as much with Game of Thrones, which I'm, I guess, surprised with because the last season was so divisive. But it seems like more people are on board with that one, and everyone's Lord of the Rings. Obviously, they were hating that show before it even came out.
Oh, I know.
I'm on this weird side with it, right? It's like if you're like a hardcore Tolkien fan, I even asked because I had sent a text to Rachel Cushing.
Yeah.
And it was because it paints Galadriel, who was what's his name, Cate Blanchett's character.
Yes.
And it paints her as like this major warrior who was on the hunt for Sauron the entire time, 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
My first question to Rachel was like, well, if she had all this information and she was doing, well, why didn't she lend that in the original trilogy?
Instead, she just talked like this.
And why didn't she fight?
Yeah.
Like with them?
Yeah. Why
like
didn't she go with them if she was such a fucking badass? Yeah. Great question.
And but she's still kind of a badass in the show. She's scary as shit in the movie, right? But in the show, and she did, I guess, fight on the guard at some point. But like they definitely, I think, are going to a place of which she fought this way. Maybe, and again, it's 3,000 years beforehand.
Yeah.
So people change in 10 years.
Yeah.
So
3,000 years and elf time is just 3 years.
3 years. But I understand. If you're a Tolkien fan, you're like, this is just not what I responded to. I think that's fair, and I think it's unfair to tell those people, oh, just deal with it, and enjoy it. That's unfair. What is also unfair to the Tolkien fans is to yell and scream at people that are just watching the fantasy show that they have to be some purists when they're not on the same page.
Yeah,
that's to me is the silliest stuff. That's why I said in every review that I do, I know the Tolkien fans are going to come in, and I know that people are going to come in and they're going to go, hey, you fucking show, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, okay, but your price is you have to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to yell and scream, that's what you've got to pay. And what you pay is you subscribe and you can scream and yell and do whatever you want. Have a blast. And, sniff your own asshole while you're at it. I don't care. But it's like, but that's the price you pay. But it's so silly now. Like it's almost like numb to it.
Yeah.
Where it used to like, back when it was all happening, I was like, why is everyone fighting with each other all the time? And you try to, oh, it's okay, buddy. And just like, no matter what it is, She-Hulk, they're fighting. Lord of the Rings, they're fighting. Star Wars, they're fighting. It's like, Sebastian, there's fucking elves with bow and arrows, and you're worried if it's real? Go outside and throw a tennis ball. It's like, what are you doing?
Sometimes you do Sebastian better than Sebastian, I feel like.
But it's like, what?
Yeah. It would make me if I was a content creator, which I'm not, but if I was, it would make me nervous to do anything that was not an original IP. Like because like did you watch The Bear?
No, but I hear good things. I hear good things.
Astonishing how good that show is.
I heard.
But also, I don't know that there's people fighting about it because there's nothing that it's supposed to. It's just, I think like when you're just watching like an original content, you're sort of like, oh yeah. But once you get into like lore and these books and the voice of Tolkien and I just get so contentious. Like Star Wars, like
that's why I'm
what's canon, what's not.
But I'm telling you, it doesn't. What? I mean. You're yelling about a lawyer because she's green. Go to a restaurant and sit outside and order a coffee.
could tell it was gonna be good because you had a look and you were like,
But I'm just like,
I know.
It's
I wanna
hilarious.
try
now.
that.
But it's hilarious. Now,
Okay.
you
Yeah, I
want
wanna
to
try. I wanna
He's
try.
Chicago, so you could probably
Yeah.
do it.
why would it matter if the dragons are accurate or not? Just go take a walk with a puppy.
You got to go one step over. You're complaining that a dragon looks fake? Fucking dragons aren't real.
You're so
And neither is your girlfriend.
Oh, the Manti Teo. Speaking of girlfriends that aren't real, did you watch that?
Oh, Roxy talked about it. Roxy talked about it on the. Did you watch the?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard.
I love a documentary.
And before you do that, you're speaking about girlfriends.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you got girlfriends,
You got a real girlfriend.
or boyfriends or whatever
Or
you got,
boyfriend, yeah.
it's joy mode, baby. Joy mode, and boy, does it put you in a joy mode. I'll tell you that. I got to give some of this to Kate's husband because we got to get a review on the air. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, because here's the thing. You go to a gas station, you look around, and you feel weird. You're looking around, you look at these branded like erection pills. And I know that they're tempting. You know, I'm going to get some of those. They're not good for you. And the same goes for a lot of the products that are on the market that claim to help men in the bed. But you don't want a 4-hour hard-on. You're walking around knocking over potted plants when you're just trying to go to the bathroom. It's horrible. You get heart problems and a possible trip to the hospital to get rid of that thing. Joy Mode, it's here to save the day, and I'm not bullshitting you. This stuff where I was talking about it with Kate before she came in. It's like that pre-workout stuff, and it's legit. It's legit. I was like, I'm gonna not lie to you when they said, "Well, Joy Mode wants to come back," and I said, "Send it away. Send it right to me." And Winston and Coy, they're like, "Yeah, we want to try it too." And it's not for people that are like, "Well, I can't." It is for you if you can't, if it's harder for you to perform, but it's not just for you. Joy Mode makes natural and science-backed sexual wellness products for men, and their booster it's like a pre-workout, as I said. It's designed to support erection quality and firmness and sex drive. That's the thing right there, especially when you're exhausted with 2 kids. It's like, well, fuck watching Lord of the Rings right now, I'll tell you that. Where's my lady or whoever? Well, not for me, whoever, but for my lady, yes. You know what I'm saying. What's he doing? Well, he's banging a pillow. For what? Joy Mode, baby. You tear it open, that sachet, and mix with 6 to 8 ounces of water, just like your favorite electrolyte packet. For best use, you consume it anywhere from 45 minutes to 4 hours prior to sexual activity. You're going to notice better blood flow, better erection quality and firmness, and increased sexual energy and drive. If you want to spice things up in the bedroom and boost your sexual performance and do it naturally without any nasty prescription drugs, we have a special offer for you guys. The Big Thing audience. Come on. What a perfect sponsor. The Big Thing. Go to usejoymode.com/bigthing or enter Big Thing at checkout for 20% off your first order. That is usejoymode.com/bigthing. Get 20% off your first order. Thank you to Joy Mode for sponsoring the show.
How often is it that you genuinely are like, this sponsor? I mean, probably pretty often, but this sponsor, you love this sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You love
so
all
what
sponsors,
what I have said though, and I've told the audience this, and I say it again. We get a lot of offers that come in that say, "Hey, this company wants to sponsor you." I don't think the audience is going to like that.
Yeah.
I don't think the audience.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to like that.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one is like, give it a shot.
Back the truck up in the driveway.
Give it a shot and let's see, because that's what sold me on it when they said is like it's the pre-workout but for sex.
Yeah,
it's a great pitch.
Yeah.
It's a great pitch, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, and it doesn't make you like it doesn't make it.
When you're done, you're done.
When you're done, you're done.
That's
you're not
massive.
You're not like standing here 4 hours later going, looking around, just trying to bang
I'm
a
not
desk.
running away for 4 hours.
No,
is
you're
what
just
you're
like,
saying.
get over here. You ain't done yet. You get your ass over here. I got something to prove.
Can you do it, Sebastian? Just pop a Joy Mode.
You're gonna go to a gas station and get something that can blow your asshole out? Put some fuck powder in a glass, shake it up, fuck, and then go on your way. Then watch your dragons.
Fuck powder took me out. Fuck powder took me out.
Fuck powder. Speaking of which, I got to play this bit if I can find it real quick.
Oh my God.
This is from Thursday. This Thursday's show. You're gonna love it if I can find it. It's Brett, and so Sadie had made these cookies,
Okay.
and she gave.
You
one
had
to,
me at Sadie.
Yeah, she gave one to Roxy and one to Brett.
Okay.
Brett said he wasn't eating cookies, so Roxy's like, "I'm gonna have
Right.
both of them." She loved them.
Yes. Brett was
So,
on a cleanse.
I gotta find where the fuck is it?
Oh, it killed him not to have that cookie too, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I gotta. Oh shit, where the hell is it? I have to find this because it's so freaking funny and it's just natural Brett stuff.
I was going to say, is it Brett being
Brett
a
being
certified comedic
Oh, where the
genius
hell is it?
without having any effort?
Did I not? Let me find it. I have to
Okay.
find it
Yeah, find it.
because I want the audience to hear it too. If they missed it from the show, and now that my internet's working again, I can.
That was a scary couple minutes there, huh?
Yeah, but I held it together. Aren't you proud of me?
You really did.
Yeah.
I did not have to look for the flash
Not
drives
this
at all.
time. That was
Not this
hilarious
time.
too. All right, so this will be the last thing, and then we'll move on.
What would you do if I started wearing bucket hats like Steph? Would you be like, nice try?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I say nice.
I also wouldn't let me wear bucket hats.
No, but it's hilarious. Well, this goes into the kind of the clip. The clip is Brett is at his best. Let me bring this up. So for anybody who didn't hear the show, big thing. This is. Oh, did I not? Oh, I didn't even put the damn thing on there. I never put it on there. You stupid asshole that I am. That's one. Well, good. This is great television. Might even have cut out some of this, but I'm gonna try to play. I have it on the time code, and I'll play it for you guys because I now that I've sold it, I can't like not play it. I have to play it.
you
I
have to play it
for
now.
you. So it was this one here. I did do
And
the
this is
time.
probably
I did the
the
time
limit.
code for sure.
Okay.
So let me just get the time
Ugh,
code
you're
in here.
just time stamping your own stuff.
I do everything.
Unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, this is it. Okay. Here we go.
I'm so
Oh, good.
Brendan,
Oh,
you're not
perfect. Good.
fat.
Good, Ed.
It's
It
a
always
shirt.
stops right as a slap happens.
Yeah.
Look at
Oh.
me. His
Need that cookie.
Yeah. You want it?
Need that cookie.
Yeah.
Need that cookie.
Here. This will be on the Clips channel as
so
well.
here it is.
If you are brand new to the Clips channel, you're just finding us now, make sure you subscribe, but also find us on the main channel. All right. Well, thank you to Roxy on that one. All right. Let's get back to
Reality. Oh, there
back
goes
to reality,
gravity.
exactly.
Choke, so mad, but you won't give up that easy. Nope.
Stop this.
You
Stop
got it. You got it.
I'm gonna eat that cookie.
Yeah. You want it? Yeah, you should go for it. Go. What the hell? Let's get. Hold on.
But can I tell you
I want
something?
to get your
though?
review. Let's get your
That's-
review of
That
the
is
cookie.
super fucking rude of him.
Why?
Because you know what happened to me?
What?
You brought the 2, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna wait till after." And then there was another one for me.
Tough.
And then
Too
I
bad.
was
I
like,
know you
"Great,
did.
so I'll have one before, one after." And now he ate it.
So he ate the. He.
kidding. I didn't hear.
No, too late now. You got your freaking
too
dirty
late now.
saliva all over it. Yeah. So what's your review of the cookie?
That's good, and it seems healthy. It's like pumpkin-y, right?
It's not pumpkin. It's oatmeal. Yeah. It's got a little bit of salt in there, which I like. Yeah, it's yummy.
Chocolate.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good stuff.
I just broke my.
For somebody who stole my cookie, you don't seem to be so fucking happy about
Well,
it.
I've had your cookies before,
Oh,
Rob.
whatever that
So
means.
you're big. You're a big cookie. This is going deeper into the
cookie.
You know that one, that big fat cookie you let me taste. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be my life.
That fucking cookie now. Get over here with that fat ass cookie of yours.
The truth is, you have had my big ass cookie. You both have. You're welcome.
Oh man, interesting.
Quite delicious.
Yeah, I have a good cookie.
Oh man,
Buttery.
2 sticks.
sweet.
Takes 2 sticks to fill that cookie.
Oh my good lord. All right, let's try to get into some more of this before we both all get divorced.
Before we all
Oh
get
yes,
divorced.
I'm so scared my husband will divorce me.
Not you. All right, here we go. So Peel teases returned in the Nope universe. Trying to turn it all off. Anyway, discard. Discard. Go
Oh,
away
my
now.
God.
Anyway, so that
Brett and Roxy have actually spent a lot of time together because he's been over at
know.
her house like working.
I turned off the wine shot too. Perfect. Anyway, look, this is a disaster now, but I held it together for a while. Look, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you to Andrew Freed for coming in. Thank you for Kate for being here today. And thank you to you guys. And if I didn't thank you yet, if anybody contributed to the Amazon gift list, I will. Thank you again to Nate. Thank you to Thrawn. Thank you to everybody who's been sending those in. If you want to take a look at the list, it's still there. If people are, how can I help in general? Well, there's that. The Patreon, it has been launched. And the Patreon, by the way, if you didn't know, a lot of good tiers over there now, too. I'm doing a thing. I don't know if I told you this, Kate, but so I'm only limited to 5 per month. But it's like a $50 tier. Doing like a half an hour session with me and somebody and like a patron where
that's fantastic.
Can interview somebody, can talk to somebody, and have that. And I'm only doing 5 of them a month because they're schedule wise and time wise. But that's available at the 50. We're creating a $25 tier, PLDs over there. But we have the rewatches. We're releasing old Schmoes Know material. Brett and Kate's Playdate is available. SEN Live. So a lot of great things. So check it out. It's patreon.com/thebigthingshow. The link is in the description. Check it out and see. If you just want to support the show and be at the lower tier, it's like $2. How about if we don't spend any money? Totally. You can subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leave comments. And then the other way, if you just want to do one time, look at one of the sponsors that we talked about here today. And I also wanted to thank, once again, Carbon Health for sponsoring the show. Make sure you check them out as well. Very happy to be working with Carbon Health again. All right, everybody. Peace out. We love you. See you on the flip side. Peace.